Hey there, it's Rick Khan from rickkhan.com, and in this video I'm going to reveal how to retarget Facebook ads in 2022. Now specifically, I'm going to give you a full tutorial guide that goes through all the steps from understanding how customer touchpoints work, the big picture strategies, the different types of retargeting campaigns, campaign structures, even the copy that you should be writing, and so much more. And just before we jump straight into it, if you're serious about keeping up to date with the latest Facebook ads platform, then I highly suggest you hit that subscribe button to stay up to date. Now, when you're running ads for retargeting sales, the truth is most people require multiple touch points before making a purchase. And when you get cold traffic conversions, these are more rare because of the amount of touch points that are required. You see, most people on average, they need at least around 8 touch points before they make a sale. And it could be lower or even higher. This is just an average number of how many times someone needs to see your content and ads before they make an actual sale. Now, here's something you need to know about the truth about what retargeting really is. Because some people think that retargeting is a lot cheaper. And the truth is, retargeting doesn't always give you lower cost per acquisitions because of all the other touch points it takes to get your prospect at the retargeting phase. So really, it isn't always cheaper because of how much you probably spent in the past. You may have had multiple cold ads running, paid SEO on Google to your page or other ads, or even took them through a long email list before you started retargeting them. Now, also the truth is, retargeting is also about scale. If you have many other campaigns running for cold traffic and scale, retargeting is another campaign that helps to expand your ads into scaling. But here's the thing, it's not going to be the biggest portion of your budget, and it's not about scaling the budget. Retargeting is about showing up and being present and building the relationship with your prospect, giving them more value and building goodwill. And when you retarget them to make a purchase, your ads are about overcoming the objections or barriers your prospect might have that you're asking them to take an action on. So now, moving on to the big picture of retargeting strategy, which one thing to know about this is that I build everything from my cold campaigns. You see, it all starts there and it works itself down into the retargeting. And to be fair, the cold campaigns is by far the hardest part, because taking someone from never hearing or seeing you before to pull out a credit card is very difficult. That's why with using a strategy of retargeting, it helps to keep in front of your prospect and makes that buying cycle easier. So before creating your strategy, you have to know this first, where you need to ask yourself these 5 strategic questions, which is, what are all the steps required for your prospect to make a sale? Number 2, where in each of the steps are they dropping off? Then, what objections are in the prospect's mind why they've fallen off or didn't take the action? Then what angle could you use to answer or overcome the barrier of your prospect? And finally, where will you be sending them in the funnel? So starting with the first one, because there are so many unique and different steps people have in their funnel, and what you may have might be different from any of these, but these examples should help give you a good idea of what all the steps required for your prospect to make a sale. Let's take a look at the basic funnel setup. Here's the ad, the opt-in, and the one-time offer. And then where in each of these steps are they dropping off? This is 3 steps of the process where anyone could just drop off from. Someone could see the ad and like it, but still not go click through. They could get to the opt-in, but still not put the email address in, or go through all the way to the one-time offer, but not take your offer. Another example is, what are all the steps required for your prospect to make a sale? Let's say you have a local business such as a dentist, and the process example could be the ad, the request for a booking, a call to make the booking, the reminder, and then the actual call. And then ask yourself, where in each of these steps are they dropping off from? Did they drop off at the request? Did they drop off at the actual call? But once you have this, now you'll want to understand what objections are in the prospect's mind why they've fallen off or didn't take the action. Now, again, there are so many things that could have caused them to drop off, but the best way to find out is by finding out what questions do your prospects have. You should already understand your avatar and what kind of objections they have, but common ones are how much will it cost, and will it work for me, and also why should I trust you? Which leads to answering the next question: what angle could you use to answer or overcome the barrier of your prospect? Here, what you want to do is take those questions and come up with different ways you would answer and pass these barriers, whether it's more content to educate your prospect or different angles and hooks that overcome any objections. And finally, where will you be sending them in the funnel? Here you'll create a campaign that retargets people straight to the place where you'll be sending your prospect. Taking that early example of the lead magnet, if say someone dropped off, they got their lead magnet when putting their email in, you'll then retarget them to click directly back to the sales page or the one-time offer. Or if someone dropped off at the call for a booking, you'll angle the ad differently and send them back straight to the booking page. Now, after you figure your strategy, then you need to know something important about retargeting, because did you know there are two types of retargeting, which is the follow-up campaigns and the one-time campaigns, where with the follow-up campaigns, they run all the time. They move people from one step to another. So based on the action of your prospect, you should have your Facebook set in a way for those people to be retargeted every time they go through your setup. So for example, if you had people who went to an add to cart or any other action that your prospect dropped off from, you would have a follow-up campaign set up to retarget those in the last 30 days. And you would also exclude all the buyers or anyone else that you don't want them to see. So let's say if someone becomes a buyer, they would then automatically be taken out of the retargeting, and anyone who continues to drop off within 30 days will keep going into the follow-up retargeting ads. But here's something to remember within creating these follow-up campaigns. Every step should have its own campaign. Don't bundle any of them together or mess with any optimization, and don't confuse Facebook. Then the next type of retargeting is the one-time campaigns. Now, these are just one-off campaigns. These are your flash sales, your promos, or when you have a special. So let's say you want to get more quick sales, or you're in a good season, you could just quickly give 20% off and retarget people who viewed your content, retarget your email subscribers, or even buyers if it's a new product. You don't want to do these all the time, and you want to be genuine with your promos. Now, going into the elements required of retargeting, because now at this point, you should understand what your strategy will be, how you'll be retargeting, and the types of retargeting campaigns that you'll be using. But now it's time to understand more deeply what the elements required of retargeting, which starts with understanding retargeting copy ads. Now, this will be different from cold audience, how you write your copy. So here's 6 different angles that are popular to use when retargeting, which starts with remind them to take the next step. Here, all you're doing is reminding them of the last time you reached them on your ad. An example is this: hey, you didn't get a chance to take up the free thing, or don't forget your call is coming up. Next is testimonials, such as, hey, check out what others are saying about X, or did you know John says X about Y? Then you have overcome objections. What are your top questions? Turn them to ad copy. For example, if a yoga studio is selling meditations, the objection could be, I tend to have trouble focusing. And the angle could be, do you find it difficult to focus with meditation? That's why it's guided to talk to your subconscious so you don't have to focus. Or another one could be, if you have a low-end downsell or offer, you could show, for example, a cup of coffee and show them how cheap it really is. Contrast can be very powerful here. The next, a good angle is discounts. Usually you want to use this at the final part of the funnel. Then you have the upsell order bumps, and a really good one is giving goodwill and value. Basically means to continue to give goodwill and value with content and re-engage with them demonstrating different ways of giving information to help with their problems. Now, I don't want you to think these are the only 6 out there. There are a lot more. I've only narrowed down that I personally think are the best 6. So the next element we have is the campaign structure. Here you want to use one ad set with whatever's in your audience. Then you want to use 1 to 2 ads in your ad set. And you can have this in CBO or ABO, it doesn't really matter there. And with the budget, which is my recommendation only, but if you have more than 5,000 people, run at least $10 per day. If you have between 5 to 50,000 people, run at least $30 per day. If you have 50 to 80,000 people, you can run up to $60 per day. And if you have 80 to 120,000, it's $80 per day. And finally, anything above 120,000 people, I'd suggest running at least $100 per day. But again, these are just my recommendations. There is no set limit to this. And then finally, how to set up retargeting in the ads manager. Because all you're doing here is taking the audience you want and setting up in custom audience. You have all the different options you can get your audience from, such as your emails or customer list, videos, app activities, Facebook page, and all others that you can see on the screen. A lot of times for me, I like to click website, then under events, I use either all website visitors, or you can even select the page on your website where your prospect dropped off from, then keep it at 30 days if it's already set to that, and then create your audience. It's simple as that. Then when creating your ad, all you need to do is add that into your custom audience in the ad set level. And that's it. You should now know how to retarget on Facebook. But here's the thing. If you think I missed anything, you can let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to get back to you. And until then, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next video.